to Johnsequitur. I don't want to do this video. I don't want to do it. But that's what this show is. This show is this kind of thing. And I thought, if I have to do this video, then I need to do it in a way that nobody else has done it, because the reason I think I have to do it is because this is fucking everywhere. It's all over the place. And it's the same repeated shit over and over again. So we're going to take a distinctly different path in this one, okay? We're going to start with swimming pools. Did you know that in World War II, the clothing, mostly made of wool and cloth, was being that material was being used so much on soldiers and was needed so much for the war effort that it was considered patriotic and eventually made into a rule that boys, specifically boys, could not enter a swimming pool unless they were naked. And that includes swim meets, YMCA, anywhere there was a pool. Boys were considered unpatriotic if they were not completely bare-ass nude. In fact, there was an article written, I believe it was Time or maybe Newsweek, one of the two, where they talked about how great democracy was and accompanied it with a nude 13-year-old boy in a shower. It wasn't until 1962 that finally we decided it might not be such a good idea to make it a law that boys had to swim nude. In fact, there was one school that tried to put a motion forward to stop this from happening, and a mostly male school board said no, because this will do boys good later in life, feeling this embarrassment. That was patriotic. What is patriotic? What does that mean? I think patriotic means, in the loose sense, to do exactly what everyone else does and to think exactly like everyone else thinks. I think that's what it means, which is strange because it's also patriotic to have the Confederate flag, which is a symbol of resistance against the Union. But I guess that's okay? I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that when the flag was first mass-produced in like the 1860s, that's when it was first, really, they couldn't keep up with the demand for it. So that's when it was first something that was a symbol of America, to the point where people were willing to fight and die for it. So the flag symbolizing today's military is not what the flag was designed for. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't. It means, yeah, if you want it to, that's fine. In all honesty, it can literally mean whatever you want it to because it is a symbol. For me personally, it symbolizes my freedom to be able to go get Taco Bell. See? I got that to look forward to. I can do that here. I can eat whatever I want. That's what that flag symbolizes to me. And it can symbolize current soldiers, but it's meant to symbolize America in 1861. Now, it has a history to it, and if you want to group yourself into that history, if you want to say that you're part of that history, you must also be willing, and I know you're not, to any time that a black American says they're owed slavery reparations, your answer cannot be, but you were never a slave. Because you were never in the Civil War or the Revolutionary War. In fact, most of the people who are pissed about this, and not all of them, because some people, I know one in particular, who actually was in the service who's pissed about it, but a lot of them weren't in it. It just feels that way to them. It's a feeling that they have inside, that they've just attached to this piece of cotton or whatever it's made of. And that's fine. You can have an emotional attachment to an object. But if that object represents let's say something else, freedom. Does it represent all freedom or no freedom? No, I'm not saying anything you haven't heard already. And here's another thing. If you're listening to me, you've already made up your mind. You already know exactly where you stand on this, and you're not budging no matter what facts I throw at you. Where do these arbitrary things come from? You have to remove your hat when the national anthem is played, right? But did you know that women are not required to remove their hats? It's because this rule of removing your hat came from a time when there were knights and stuff like that, and then continued onward into the 18th century for horse races, and women's hats were pinned to their hair so they couldn't take them off. These rules just kind of come out of nowhere. In fact, the national anthem wasn't even the Star-Spangled Banner until President Hoover, inventor of the vacuum cleaner, that's a false fact, he signed it into law. I guess it became a law. That's what a law is. So, you know, there are amendments that can be changed, but this is a law, and it's going to take a hell of a lot for it to be changed. It's more important that we get the song right than we get freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, all that stuff correct. We all want something to cling to. We all want something that we know can feel sacred and indestructible. But beliefs are beliefs. And sometimes you just kind of gotta go outside of your comfort zone and take a look at the wider perspective. You want to know my stance on this? I think it's silly. I think all of it is silly. I think if a bunch of athletes want to do something, they should get involved in the community, but you know what? A lot of them do, so okay, good. And I think if people are going to be upset about people protesting, just be glad that we don't live in the Middle East where protesting involves rocks, guns, what are those exploding bottles, stuff like that. Nobody's going after our president and trying to kill him. They're just saying, no, you're wrong. Are they right that he's wrong? Is he wrong? Who knows? It's never really about the issues. It's where you stand emotionally. So when you're given facts, you're not backing down. Either side. The whole thing is silly. And you know what else? The NFL is fucking loving this. I guarantee you, as if they needed any more attention. They already absorb 4 days out of your week, if not more. From training camp until the Super Bowl, they are your God. And this is just more attention for them. Not that they needed it, but here it is. Negative, positive. There is no such thing as negative publicity. People can boo all they want. They paid $125 to sit in a seat and boo a team. Who's losing in this? It's silly. That's my take on it. It's silly. Have a good night. And be sure not to let what happened in the 1930s and 40s with swimming pools happen again.